NFL Hall of Famer Warren Moon is here with us on Radio Row, Houston Oilers. First of all, Warren, it's great to have you here. Let's talk about the Zenith helmet. That's cool looking.
It's pretty evolutionary as far as the design of the helmet compared to what's on the market right now with the foam padding helmets or the air suspension helmets. This helmet has these 12 to 18 little shock absorbers inside of it that kind of act as like airbags around your skull, and it gives you a lot more protection as far as head trauma is concerned. And that's one of the reasons why I got behind it, because I'm just really concerned about players today and the helmet safety that they have, because I had 6 concussions during my playing days, and I want to make sure these young guys that are playing the game now and the young kids that are playing the game coming up at the grassroots level, whether it's Pop Warner or high school or whatever, are more protected so they won't have these long-term injuries from head concussions after their playing days are over.
Warren, tell me, do you feel the effects still of the concussions that you had?
I really don't yet, but you just never know when it's going to happen. And the thing that concerns me is because so many guys that I played with are starting to have these type of symptoms, whether it's dementia, whether it's Parkinson's disease or depression. Some of these guys have committed suicide, and a lot of that is being brought back to having that CTE or having that head trauma injuries. And I want to make sure that not only it doesn't happen to me, but it doesn't happen to that next generation of players. So I do worry about it because who knows, it could affect me at any time.
How do you feel about this lawsuit, Warren? Is it warranted?
I think in some ways it is warranted. There's no question about it. I think every player has to understand when he plays the game of football that he's going to get hurt. It's a contact sport. It's a violent sport. It's a collision sport. And you can't blame the league on yourself getting hurt. I think where the players have a big problem is where they ever came off the field and say had a head trauma or had some type of injury, and then they were diagnosed by a doctor and sent back out on the football field. That's where I think a lot of players have a problem, because they weren't aware of what their problems were, and they put it in the hands of the medical staffs to make those decisions for them. In a lot of those cases, those players were put back out on the field, and they probably shouldn't have been, and that made their injuries worse than what they were.
Talk to me about this zone read offense. I mean, there's always something new coming up. You played in a quote-unquote run-and-shoot system in Houston. In the end, is there anything new under the sun? Are they using some of the same stuff that you guys did back in the Oilers days?
Well, as far as the read keep, they're not. But as far as the pass concepts and a lot of these spread offenses, no question about it. A lot of the pass routes that they're using, the options off of those routes and the adjustments off those routes are the same things we use in the run and shoot. The only difference is they use a tight end on the football field that kind of has that hybrid ability of being a big guy that could block when you want to run the football, but he also has the ability to run down the field like a wide receiver and catch the football when you spread them out. So that's the only big difference. But I think the read keep part of it is something that all these kids are running from the time they're in high school all the way up through college and then into the pro game. So it's important. I mean, it's smart that the pro teams are starting to say, hey, look, let's do what these guys do best, incorporate it into our game. That doesn't mean we have to run it every play, but we'll run a certain part of it, and that certain part of it, say a little package of it, is enough to make defenses have to prepare for it, and they're taking time away from the regular preparation of your regular offense.
You could move around, but you didn't run first. You threw first.
Right.
Are we seeing an evolution in the NFL quarterback unfold before our very eyes right now?
I don't think these guys are going to be run-first guys either. I think RG3 is a guy that still wants to throw it. I think that Cam Newton is a guy that still wants to throw it. I think Russell Wilson and also Colin Kaepernick, when they're asked to throw it, these guys throw with great accuracy, they throw with great touch, and they have a good feel for reading defenses. They don't create a lot of turnovers. But when they are asked to run the football and design run play, they know how to do that as well, and that makes them that much more dangerous.
Warren Moon with us here on Radio Row.